Hello, hello, beautiful people. Angie Grimes here, your quantum architect, here to discuss the Alchemize Your Energy Transit for the week of November 6th, 2022. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about Gate 1, the first gate. This is the gate of self expression. And so I want to tell you a little bit about the shadow of this. And this particular energy sequence is captured perfectly by the word entropy. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you will know that I use this word pretty frequently, but I'm just going to give you a definition of it here so that uh, you're up to speed on what I'm talking about. Entropy is a measure of the disorder or unavailability of energy within a closed system. So, what that means is when there's more entropy, it means that there's less energy available for doing work. This is actually a physicist term, and it relates to the laws of thermodynamics. And according to what we can see with the mind, the universe appears to have a single direction, like linear, right? And when we notice things, it looks like it's moving from order to chaos. Now, this particular challenge keeps the entire planet living at a low level of frequency. It's like we have this blanket that's kind of thrown across our civilization. And when we really think about it, we really have these thoughts that we can't do anything about things moving from order to chaos or chaos to order. And that's really the crux of the problem here. As a human being, we are finding ways to begin to accept ourselves. And when we convert entropy into a human feeling, it becomes this kind of deep numbness or a sense of doom and gloom. This numbness is a exceptionally fertile state of awareness. If we learn anything, it is about the nature of duality itself, which is on this particular plane, life cannot exist without polarity. When we think of the entire notion of the spectrum of consciousness, it really depends on polarity. We have the challenge at one end of the spectrum and the genius at the other. And there are lots of different frequencies between these states. But what happens is each gives birth to the other. Entropy would be akin to the black hole to create it, if we were to think about it, to creativity's white hole. And the secret here is to harness creativity. So, first of all, you have to understand that it's a chemical state. And secondly, it comes on really suddenly. And when we can accept it and fully embrace it, it actually just passes just as suddenly. Entropy and creativity are the eternal dance played out within the universe we inhabit. Really know why we feel gloomy on certain days and happy on other days, but I know that there are 1,000 theories around it. And I want a little bit about there being external weather. There's also this internal weather, and it differs in each and every person. It's the unpredictable nature of this internal weather that many of us really struggle with. When you tap into it and feel the movement of creation inside of you, feel that happiness. And when you feel entropy inside of you, it creates that doom and gloom scenario. And this continual interplay of energy in our lives really propels us to always want to feel the happiness and escape the gloomy side. But this actually is where the potent gold is in our nature. And when we don't allow it to pass seamlessly, we actually get distortion, and that entropy can turn quickly into depression. If you resist this state mentally, there's really a grave danger that you'll interfere with the process and it will fix itself inside of you as depression. Depending on your individual genetic predispositions, you may be more or less prone to feeling low than others. And generally speaking, the more creative a person you are, the more deeply you kind of melancholic chemistry. The state of entropy is rather like a vacuum state. Your system is recharging and you withdraws into a kind of stasis. And the resulting feelings, or maybe it's perhaps lack of feeling, provides a delicate environment for something quite potent to occur if you're patient enough to actually allow it. This something is the creative process. In other words, your low energy means that something intangible is gestating inside you, even though you cannot yet see it. And only when the state of this mutates to its expressive stage, you begin to see what the process is about. So I want you to take a look at the low times in your life because they're actually quite special. And they generally require aloneness and withdrawal in order for those seeds sprouting inside of you to germinate. The worst enemy at such times is your mind, or really someone else's mind. And that's wondering what is wrong with you. Because of this challenge, humanity as a species is not as nearly as creative as it could be. The reason for this is the collective denial of the natural phases of entropy that individuals experience. This particular challenge can only be resolved and accepted at an individual level, which really takes a great leap of courage, patience, and trust. And when you suddenly find yourself blind and lost, the best thing to do is to stay still and allow it to pass gently through your system, giving it the minimum mental attention possible. This deep acceptance of entropy as a natural part of your life will eventually allow you to unlock its true potential and in time transcend it entirely. Once you've succumbed to the depressive state, you really must face down the very fear that caused the depression and shift the frequency of your attitude on all levels. There's a couple ways that the challenge state actually manifests, and one of those is this frenetic urge to escape the way you're feeling at all costs. Instead of moving into harmony with entropy, you increase your activity and contact with others. And it's really engaging in a way that some danger because you're moving in the opposite direction from the chemistry of your body. Your urge to escape your feelings opens you to all kinds of illnesses in your body that otherwise would never have troubled you. Now, I want to talk about the gift for a moment. This gift is rooted in the notion of light as the manifestation of creative energy in the universe. And I want that to sink in for a minute because that's such a beautiful statement. Now, this particular energy provides the actual energetic thrust to get you there. And every time you allow yourself to move through the low frequency chemical process, that low energy field switches and it really starts to be experienced as joy. And what happens is this joy comes on as unexpectedly as the sadness did. But with the joy also comes the need to express it, and especially to express it through your voice or your art. This particular gift is called the gift of freshness, because whatever is allowed to be emerged out of this numbing chemistry field will be absolutely new. The word freshness is different than the word newness, and I want to talk about that for a minute, because freshness conveys aliveness, as though it refers to something burning with an inner fire. And this is exactly how you would express yourself. You're surrounded by a halo of something brought with you from another world. This gift awakens inside your DNA, and you'll find that you automatically inject life and light into any group of people you're a part of. For these reasons, this is really the domain of family, team, or an intimate group where this gift is designed to excel. Freshness is a gift that needs the right environment in order to bloom. It needs open-minded people who give you center stage exactly when you need it. And after this potent and fresh energy has been released and your creative impact has been felt, you'll usually need to retreat as quickly as possible in order to not create anything around the power of your release. You know, if we think about this as flowers, I just want to say that flowers really wilt. And so look at freshness as flowers. Your light can infiltrate any group, bringing inspiration and joy. And so can your melancholy equally draw energy away from that very same group. Now, the gift of freshness relies on one truth. Creativity can never be controlled. It simply comes when it comes. And when it's absent, there's nothing for you to do but wait and relax. Your true power lies in your ability to be alone with yourself and to trust in the power of your own unique timing. This is the true meaning of freshness, to be a clear vessel for the creative process so that evolution can move through you and find its way towards a permanent state of eventual love, beauty, and unity. You have the most amazing week.